Hello everyone and welcome to the iSpring Solutions webinar. Thank you very much for joining us today as we're having a very special guest, Kevin Baker. Hello Kevin, how are you doing?
Morning, everybody.
Kevin is a nurse anesthetist and co-founder of Apex Anesthesia Review, and today Kevin will be sharing with us how iSpring helped create a highly successful online business. My name is Paulina, I am a community manager, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. We also have today with us Elena Galvez. Hello, Elena. Thank you very much for joining. How are you doing?
Good. How are you, Paulina?
Good. Thanks for asking. Elena is our customer care manager, and she works with iSpring clients, helping them to decide how iSpring can be a perfect fit for their needs. And also at the end of the webinar, after Kevin will finish his presentation, we will hold a Q&A session where you guys are most welcome to share your questions, comments, or concerns and address them to either Kevin or Elena. They will be happy to answer your questions. To do so, please submit them in the question box, which should be on the right side of your GoToWebinar panel. And at this point, we are ready to begin, so Kevin, I'm passing the mic over to you.
Sounds great. Thank you. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up this morning. This is really exciting. What I'm going to do is probably over the next 20 minutes or so is kind of show you exactly what we've done to create a highly successful business using iSpring and iSpring Learn. So what I'll do is I'm going to share my screen to start the presentation. And what I'll do is I'll kind of give you a little bit of background about who I am and what we do, and then I'll transfer over to show you how we incorporate iSpring into all of the workings of our business. So, to begin, what is a certified registered nurse anesthetist? Essentially, we are advanced practice nurses who practice full scope of practice anesthesia. There are about 50,000 of us in the U.S., and you'll find us in hospitals and outpatient surgery centers and a variety of places across the country. So to be able to do what we do, how does one become a CRNA? And what one has to do is to go to school to receive a bachelor's degree in nursing, and then this person must have a minimum of 1 year of critical care experience as a nurse, although many of us have more than that before entering school. And then we attend either a master's program or a doctoral program for our final degree. And in the culmination of that program, we have to take a certification exam. And this exam is what determines whether or not we can practice anesthesia in the United States. So as you can imagine, that this single test is really that final gatekeeper between being a student and being able to do what we were trained to do. So Apex Anesthesia Review does two things. Number one, we help prepare students to pass this exam. And number two, and this is a new market that we are just started to enter this year, is we provide continuing education credits and experiences for CRNAs who are already in practice. So how does one get from the operating room to the online classroom? So I have to be honest, and I hope this is inspiring for at least some of you, is that I do not have a tech background at all. My entire background is in nursing and anesthesia. I've been a nurse for 17 or 18 years, and I've been a nurse anesthetist for just over 10 years. And I quickly learned when I started doing clinical anesthesia that I really enjoyed teaching graduate students who came through the hospital. And this is a passion that just really clicked early, and the more I did it, the more I really enjoyed it. And I wanted to really take this experience of education to the next level, and I considered academics for a little while. But around that time, I was actually approached by a colleague and close friend about starting a review course. And this was back in 2012, actually. And at the time, there were no online solutions for exam prep for this test. There were brick and mortar things, there was some downloadable software. So we originally talked about doing a conference sort of thing where the students would come to us, and then we realized that we were pretty limited by time in that sense. And the only way to truly scale and provide a one-to-many experience was to go online. Now, again, I didn't have any tech experience, neither did my partner, so we really learned all of this from the ground up. So for the better part of about 2 years, we created our content. We both maintained full-time clinical positions. So as you can imagine, it was a lot of late nights, a lot of long weekends. But after 2 years, we had enough content to create a minimum viable product. And from then until now, which again is about 2 years, we are over 4,000 users. We have partnered with over 40 graduate programs in the United States. We actually have a couple more in line right now. And again, we're expanding our content and courses to nurse anesthetists to earn continuing education credits. So before I get into iSpring, what are a couple of key lessons from all of this? Number one, as I said, you don't need a tech background to be successful with online courses. Number two is tools like iSpring Suite, iSpring Learn make all of this possible. And I'll show you exactly how we do that here in just a few minutes. And, one of the questions that I get very often is, from somebody who's looking to create a business is, what's my idea? What do I start with? And really the secret is this. It's take what you know and then teach others how to do that thing. So, it doesn't just have to be for online coaches or doing what we're doing. You could be a guitar teacher, and instead of, doing one-on-one lessons, you can record those lessons and then put them out for the entire world and really open your market. Financial planning, the list goes on and on and on, how you can take what you are already good at and share that with the rest of the world. So, how do we use iSpring Suite? Number one, before I forget, I am an avid Mac user. I always have been. I don't own a PC, and it's been a very long time since I have. I know a lot of people say, can I use iSpring on a Mac? And the answer is yes and no. So it's not going to run natively on a Mac. However, if you use virtualization software, we use VMware Fusion. It runs absolutely flawlessly. We've been using iSpring from the very beginning. And have just really been incredibly happy with it all along the way. This is our primary tool for content creation, and I'll share some of that content with you shortly. Most of what we do is in iSpring Quizmaker. And the reason why we do this is our course is grounded in question-based learning, where we'll introduce a topic with a practice question. The student answers that question, and then we follow with a high-yield rationale of the important things, concepts that are tested by that question. iSpring Quizmaker really has a robust capability of a bunch of question types. We can customize things however we like, so it's totally branded to be consistent with the rest of our brand. And the beautiful thing also is that it works seamlessly across platforms, computers, smartphones, tablets. There's not a lot of fancy programming. They take care of all of that. It just works when you use it. So what we've done with Apex is we kind of have it subdivided into two different things. So we have a student review course, and this is on a self-hosted, dedicated server that we use X API, and that's linked to an external LRS. And then we use iSpring Learn to administer or allow universities to administer exams to their students. So what we'll do first is I'll show you the website, and I'll show you some of the content that we have, and then I'll take you over to iSpring Learn. So this website was custom designed for us. There's a lot of tweaks. It is built on WordPress, which makes it really easy for somebody with little to no experience to get started. And what we'll do is we'll look at a piece of content that was authored entirely in Quizmaker. And because it's linked to our LRS, the user has the opportunity to synchronize their results on all of their devices, so I could start on my computer and then I could pick up my iPad and have all of my progress seamlessly transferred along with me. And right here, we have an example of a matching question. The iSpring QuizMaker authoring tool, I think, offers 10 or 11 assessment type questions, and then a variety of survey questions as well. So get this wrong, and that's okay. And what you can see is you have a little answer box that pops up. And one thing that I want to point out, since this is a good point to do it, is the customer service at iSpring and their receptiveness to really push their product and improve it for the end user. So for example, this is something that I had submitted to them a little while ago, is that this answer box seems to obscure the question. Well, sometimes if these answer boxes were too big, you couldn't see the question at all. I reached out to them, and they're more than happy to fix it. So now we can do this. And while this may be a little thing, this is just a small example of how they really go the distance to make sure that the end user is satisfied and has a good product. And what we have, and again, this is all authored in QuizMaker, is we have a nice page. We have lots of images, tables. It all looks very, very beautiful on the screen, and this is all thanks to iSpring. It's very, very easy to do. Again, same sort of thing. This is a multiple response, so you select 2 out of 4 possible answers. You have your answer box. And then you have learning content behind. Navigation through something like this is very easy. I can bounce around to any of the questions or any of the pages. It just works absolutely beautifully. One of the benefits of having this linked to an LRS, again, is tracking user data. So what we've done is we basically created a progress report page for the students so they can see their scores when they completed things. And they can also compare themselves to where they are with the national average. So, you know, if 500 students take something, a student wants to know how they're doing relative to their peers, they're able to do that. What we've done here is this green line would be my score, the red line would be the national average, so I would have a pretty good feeling that I'm doing at least better than the mean. And we found the students, this really, really helps them, again, customize their learning experience. Another thing that we've done, and this is authored in, it's an iSpring interaction actually, is we kind of use this in a way that I don't think it was intended to be used, but it works incredibly well for it, is we've created flashcard decks for the students where we have open-ended questions, they can click, we have a ton of images in here. And this is really great for when they're learning on the go. They have 5 to 10 minutes of downtime. It's very easy to use from a mobile device as well. So, as I said, this is everything on our own hosted server. The next thing we have is iSpring Learn, and that's how we administer our exams to a bunch of universities across the country. So we can go to that website now. One option that iSpring also has is single sign-on, so that can make things a little bit easier as well when you're doing a hybrid model like we're doing. So a couple of things about iSpring Learn. If you didn't want to have your own server and have to maintain WordPress or any other platform, you wanted everything pre-packaged so you could just go in, write your content, sell your content, and be done, iSpring Learn is a really awesome choice for this. Again, we use it for password-protected exams, and I'll show you those in a minute. But in addition to tests, I mean, you can do all kinds of content, from courses created in iSpring Learn to MP4s and SWFs, PDFs. Really, the list goes on and on. Once we get inside, and I'll show you in a minute, content management is very, very easy to use. So here's what I see after I log in. and I can go to content, and everything is ordered in the folders that I've created myself. And another cool thing that iSpring has recently introduced in this past year is these learning pathways. And what this does is it creates a very seamless user experience to be able to access all of their course content. So what we'll do is I'll show you one of those that we have set up so I can view this as a user from my admin account. And here's where we have all of our student content. They can easily access all of the exams. They can see whether or not they passed. They can see their score next to it. They can see their progress. So they can get a really nice snapshot of how they're doing in addition to how to access everything. Open an exam on here again is super easy. This is locked with a password. Open that up. And then you can see the student is ready to go. Another great thing about iSpring Learn is how you can manage users. And what they've done is they've set up a very intuitive way of user management that you can create organizations. So in our example, an organization might be a university. And then you can have groups, and again, in our case, these groups would be graduating classes, so class of 2017, 2018, 2019, so on and so forth. Within each of these, you can have different user roles. So you can allow admin privileges to the faculty or anybody else that is using your course if you'd like. And one of the really awesome things about iSpring Learn as well is that you're only paying for active users. So for example, if I have 1,000 people registered for my course, but only 250 people have used it for that month, that's what I'm getting charged for. So I have a plan of, we'll say 500 users. I could have 5,000 non-active users, but as long as 500 or less using for that month, that's all I'm paying for. So that's very nice, and it gives me a lot of flexibility. Enrolling students is also very easy. You have several options. You can send mass email invitations to people. You can allow for self-registration, or you can import from CSV files. One other thing about the learning path that I forgot to mention, I apologize, is that you can also create certificates of completion, which allows the students to have documentation, essentially, of completing something. So if you have a certification course, they can have that certificate to show that they achieved the grades they needed to. Reporting, also very, very nice, very easy to use. iSpring Learn gives a ton of reports. Obviously, I'm not going to show all of them to you here, but I'll give you a quick example just so you can see how easy it is. We can look at score results. We're going to search for the assessment here. We talked about organizations before. So this would be the school in question. iSpring Learn webinar. So let's set this up today for everybody. We'll set the date range. And then I can run a report. Obviously, I just tested this as a test account, but you would see a list of all of the students here. It would show their grades, whether or not they passed, how long they spent on the content. And something that we have found incredibly useful is to be able to look at individual exams for each student. So here, first question, this person got it correct. Second question, this person did not. And this really helps improve the experience for students that might be struggling, so somebody can sit down one-on-one to help them with that. And that's pretty much it. Again, the customer support is truly fantastic. I have never felt alone at any point. They've always been more than happy to help answer questions, very friendly, and as I said, I've been a happy iSpring user for about 4 years, and I look forward to a very long-term relationship with them. And that's it.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I think it was very interesting um, talk that you provided. And before we move on to Q&A session, we do have a couple of questions. I would like to ask Elena if she can give a little more information on the special that's running at the moment.
Yes, sure. I'm happy to tell you that we are running a special Christmas offer. So we do have special prices for all our products, including desktop software and iSpring Learn. So you can purchase it with a discount, uh, with the annual subscription, or you can go with a month-to-month subscription. We do have that option for iSpring Learn as well. So if you are interested in any of our products, desktop software or online platforms, just let us know. You can send us a message in the chat box so we can contact you right after the webinar, or just feel free to call us at the number on our website. You'll find it on our homepage, iSpringSolutions.com, or just shoot us a message to sales@iSpringSolutions.com or customer.care@iSpringSolutions.com.
Thank you very much, Elena. And at this point, I think we're ready to move on to questions. And the first question is from Fern, and I guess it's for you, Kevin. I don't know the flashcard function. Is this a part of iSpring Suite and or iSpring Quizmaker?
This is actually part of iSpring Suite, and what we've done is used an interaction that we've created that, again, I don't think it was quite intended for this use, but it works very beautifully for this use.
Thank you. And another question is from Becky. Do you track learners' quiz answers in iSpring Learn?
We do. So if you'd like, I'm happy to share my screen again and I can show you.
Yeah, we actually can see your screen right now.
Oh, you can. Fantastic. Okay. So what we can do, and this is, again, one of the meta reports that are available, is we can go over to answer breakdown. Do select university down. So what I can do is I've got a couple options. So I can either look at a student and I can go through their exams. I can export all of this to Excel or PDF file. So there's a variety of ways to capture that data. And then what I can also do is look at how many times each answer was provided by the students within the group. And in this case, there's an N of 1 because there's only one test taken. Let's say there were 2 people and somebody else answered number 2. Well, this percent over here would say 50%, and then this would change to 50% right here. So it gives you an answer breakdown of this answer selected by the group. And this, has a variety of applications, anywhere from, finding questions that are too easy if everybody's getting something right. You can, increase the difficulty of the question. If the numbers are all over the map, you might think, okay, maybe it's not a great question. How can I improve that?
Thank you. And getting back to the flashcard functionality, question from Janet. How do you set up that flashcard functionality?
Oh, let me show you.
Yay!
There. So what I'll do is I'll just open one of the files that I have already. And let's see. Go to interactions. So basically, this is what we have here. So the original intent of this is for an FAQ, where you would have this question, click it, it would drop down, it would give an explanation. And here we just kind of repurposed it, so we'll have our question up here,
Mm-hmm.
we'll have our answer down here. If the question has an image, we can easily import those. There we go. So if I create an image and I want to put it in here, it's as simple as just really clicking a button, finding the image, and then it is.
Mm-hmm. So this is basically the part of iSpring Suite.
This is part of iSpring Suite, absolutely.
Visuals, and then this is a FAQ, right?
This is an FAQ, exactly.
Okay.
So if I was going to open or create a course,
Mm-hmm.
I would go to iSpring Suite, I would go to Interactions,
Mm-hmm.
and then we use the FAQ. Now there's a variety of other really cool interactions. You can create ebooks, and there's directories and timelines and all sorts of cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here, there's video tutorials in there, and there's knowledge base that I reference extensively to get to kind of help me improve my understanding of the course. But it's all very simple to put together.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for demonstrating. And the next question is from Lucky. I apologize if I mispronounce your name. What is an external LRS? How is this different from iSpring Learn? What made you to choose that over iSpring Learn?
Those are great questions. So an external LRS is basically just a database that collects data on users. So it could be anything from content they've accessed, how long they've spent on it, specific answers they've selected for a quiz, total quiz scores. Really the possibilities here are endless. When we started, we are totally self-funded, so there's no external funding. And in the very beginning, we had to be very conscious about essentially bootstrapping everything.
Mm-hmm.
So what we originally started off was an LRS that was plugged into our server. And that worked well in the beginning because we didn't have a lot of traffic. And as we grew, we wanted to use an LRS that was meant, for a scalable company. So for our student website, it's the WordPress site, we use a cloud-based LRS for that, and that works great. Now, if you're using iSpring Learn, you don't need to deal with any of this hassle because they take care of all the data management for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, makes it a all-in-one solution.
Right. So is that correct that you are now using the functionality of iSpring Learn for your initial tasks or cases?
So we're actually still using a hybrid model. So for the first website that I showed you that just has a lot of the learning content,
Mm-hmm.
we're doing that on our site. And then with iSpring Learn, we're using that for all the universities that we work with to administer password-protected exams to them.
Okay.
Again, we wanted a solution that was very robust, that the likelihood of failure was going to be very, very low given the high-stakes nature of these exams. And after talking to some of the engineers at iSpring, we were pretty convinced. And we've been using it for close to a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we really haven't had issues at all. It's been really awesome.
Wonderful. All right, thank you very much. And then a question from Lewis. How much time did it take you to learn the iSpring LMS?
To learn the iSpring LMS, not very much time at all. There's a bunch of videos on iSpring's website that will walk you through all of this. If I had to put a number on it, you could probably easily learn the functionality if you had maybe a day or two and feel very comfortable with it. The real time and doing this sort of thing is creating the content. Of course, finding the customers in your target market.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's one of the great things about using an all-in-one solution is you can take time to write content, do marketing, do all these other important things to grow your business, and not have to worry as much about the technical aspect of everything behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you. And another question from Lackey. Can we have animation as an interaction? As it may be inserted within.
Yes, so in iSpring Presenter, there's a bunch of animations within PowerPoint that iSpring supports. You can absolutely embed video. This is something that we're going to go into pretty heavily in 2017. Is again, using these interactions and incorporating video and just really bringing the content to life and taking it to the next level. And I think iSpring is definitely the tool for that.
Right. And if we're talking about iSpring visuals, and maybe Alina, you can help me with that. As far as I know right now, the animations cannot be inserted.
We don't really have any animations in the interactions because they were developed like that. I mean, you don't really need those animations in FAQ or in directory because when you click on certain options on the buttons in the interaction. For example, the FAQ interaction, you just click on the title, or the question, and then another window appears with the answer. So basically, we can say that there is animation in there, but it's not like something you would add, like you would do that in PowerPoint. So it's already built in the interaction itself.
Right. And like Kevin said, it's possible to insert any types of animations on the slide within PowerPoint and within the course. Okay, and thank you very much, Alina, for helping. And another question from CertUp. Kevin, how easy is it to use iSpring on Mac?
The hardest thing is installing VMware Fusion, and that's easy. But really, the short answer is it's a breeze. And, you see me kind of flip back and forth the screen, and I can do it again. So, this is my Windows desktop.
Mm-hmm.
This is my Mac desktop. And, the other thing I guess I wasn't terribly clear about before is that when you're using iSpring Presenter or Quizmaker, you're doing that on a computer. With iSpring Learn, it doesn't matter. You don't need VMware Fusion or anything because you're working off of their server. So when I'm using iSpring Learn myself, well, I use Safari generally for browser, and I do all of my work in iSpring Learn with that.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing. And another question is from Kate. It's about iSpring, your iSpring Learn account. Did you set up the branding yourself, and how easy was it?
Yes, I apologize for stating over that before. So yes, I set up the branding myself, and I can do that. So we can see we have our logo up here, and we have our colors in here, and it's very, very easy to do. If you go to settings, then you come over to branding. You can change the colors. You can do customized colors. Your logo, we have a favicon added. But I mean, all of this, it's a matter of minutes to make it look like it's custom branded for you.
Thank you very much. And I think that at this point we have all the questions covered. If you guys have any other questions, this is the time to still submit them in the question box. And I would like to thank one more time Kevin for speaking for us today and for sharing your personal experience of using iSpring Presenter and iSpring Learn as a bundle solution for your organization, and for sharing us how easy it is to use it on Mac computer, because sometimes for some people this can be a tough decision whether they can or cannot use iSpring because they have a iOS system. So I think this was really useful and helpful to know. And it looks like that we are ready to wrap up at this point. I would like to thank everyone for joining us today. And thank you very much, Elena, for helping out as well. And I will see you guys next week. We are having a webinar with eLearning Brothers. We will be covering the character usage within the courses, eLearning Brothers characters, and iSpring courses. So we would love to see you there next week. And after this webinar, we will be sending the recording of the webinar to all the registered um, participants. So I hope all of you have a good day. And thank you again, Kevin, and thank you, Alina, for joining.
Thank you, Paulina.
All right, thanks again. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.